Average Hockey Fan here once again. And breaking news, Toronto has re-signed Auston Matthews to a 5-year extension, $11.6 million. Congratulations, Leafs Nation. You got yourself one hell of a player, generational talent in my opinion. If only he can stay healthy is the big question. Because when Auston Matthews is healthy, he's one of the top 3 players in the entire league. He's young, he's super gifted, he can score at will, and his numbers don't lie. I'm going to talk a little bit about Auston Matthews and is he worth it? To me, he is definitely worth it. Anybody who follows this channel knows I'm definitely not a Leafs fan. I'm actually a Habs fan, but I'm not going to be biased when it comes to the Leafs players. Maybe the team a little bit, but I won't be biased when it comes to the Leafs players because they got some great players. John Tavares is one of my favorite players. Totally became a Toronto Maple Leaf. But Auston Matthews is for sure a super talented, in my opinion, generational player, but only time will tell. $83 million is the cap these days, so he signed 11.6, so a bit over 10%. I'm not sure. I never broke out a calculator, did the percentages, but I would guess about 12%, something like that. He's the third highest paid player in the league. No, he's the second highest paid player in the league. It's McDavid, Matthews, Tavares, if I'm not mistaken. So good on him there. He got his money for sure. He got it on a 5-year deal. So when the 5-year deal's up, he'll be 26 years old. I'm pretty sure he's 21 at the moment, or he's 20, about to turn 21 soon. And yeah, he should be about 26 years old when the 5-year deal's up and going into free agency. So he can get another big contract, especially if he does thrive like he has been and he stays healthy. What the Leafs fans want is him to stay healthy, and he doesn't even have to keep progressing. Stay at the pace he's at, and that is a great pace, but I would assume he would progress because he seems to get better. We'd like to see him, Leafs fans would like to see him do it in the playoffs, I would say. Not me, I would not like to see him do it in the playoffs, but Leafs fans would like to see him do it in the playoffs, and his playoffs totals ain't bad by no means, just by his standards, they're not great. Auston Matthews' numbers, his overall career numbers, he only has 182 games played in the league, and he's already making $11.6 million a year. That shows how great he is there, and he's definitely worth it. 182 games played, 97 goals, so over half a goal a game. 81 assists, 178 points, so pretty much a point-a-game player. And his rookie year was outstanding. He won the Calder Cup. I had to mention that. Or he won the Calder Trophy, excuse me. He was the Rookie of the Year. I had to mention that for sure. In 2016, 2017, his rookie year, he had 82 games played. His only year I can see so far, he was healthy the whole year. 40 goals, 29 assists, 69 points, +2. His next year is crazy. He didn't stay healthy the whole year, but his plus-minus is crazy. In 2017, 2018, 62 games played, 34 assists, 29 goals, 63 points, and a +25. A +25 for a sophomore. He did not regress at all. He had the same amount of assists. He was well on pace for his goals. He played 20 games less, and he was a +25. If he had to finish that year with 82 games, I can only imagine what his totals would have been and what his plus-minus would have been. Oh my God, absolutely amazing. Leafs made the playoffs that year, if I'm not the last year, and the year before. Every year Matthews has been there so far, they've made the playoffs. Haven't won a round yet. That's just the Leafs' curse for like the past 15 years. They haven't won a round yet. But every year Matthews has been there, they made the playoffs, and they cannot say that prior to when he's been there. If I'm not mistaken, they only had 2 appearances in 15 years prior to Matthews coming to Toronto. So him and Marner and Nylander and all these guys have turned it around so much for Toronto. Like, you got yourself one hell of a player, because if he had to go to free agency, the offers that would have came in, he probably wouldn't have been able to turn them down. Teams are allowed to offer up to $15.9 million. Arizona, where he's from, especially needing goals like they do, they probably would have offered him a pretty penny. That's the speculation I've been hearing, what teams would offer him a lot of money. I'm sure there would be other teams, but Arizona would probably bet the bank on Auston Matthews, and it would totally boost their ticket sales where he's an Arizona guy and he's a superstar, and they desperately need ticket sales and they desperately need goals, and that's a guy who can bring both of them, but it ain't happening now. Sorry to tell you guys. And this year so far, in 38 games played, so he hasn't been healthy the whole year. He's missed 10 or 11 games. I think Toronto's played 50 games, so it'll be 12 games actually. He got 23 goals, 23 assists, +2, 46 points, and that's with like only 1 goal in 10 games at one point. He had a bit of a slump, and he still has 23 goals. So he is a great player. On the power play, he has 21 goals, 25 assists for his career in 3 years. Not bad at all. So yeah, you guys got an absolute steal. He has 154 block shots. The one knock on Matthews, he is a center. He's a great center. He can play defense. He can bring his own, but he's not physical enough for a guy his size. He doesn't use his body enough, and that's shown in his hits. He only has 44 hits for his career. Our rookie in Montreal, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, already has 36 hits, and it's not even a full year. Auston Matthews' entire career, he only has 44 hits. That a center in 3 years should have much more hits than that. I know he didn't play a full 82 every year. That's the only knock I have in Auston Matthews, and I'm sure he'll pick that up throughout the years. I'm sure he will. He's more of a skilled player, but he's a big guy too, and he should be able to use that body. I want to say one thing about Auston Matthews. He has the best shot in the league, in my opinion, the best wrist shot. Nobody zips that puck by a goalie like Auston Matthews does. Nobody can release it like Auston Matthews does. Doesn't matter where he's from. He has an amazing wrist shot. He reminds me so much of Joe Sakic, the way he can just release that puck off his stick. It's like there's a gas. It's like there's a bomb attached to his stick, and as soon as the puck hits it, he barely moves his wrist, and it's in the net. I know this because I'm a Montreal fan, and he totally has Carey Price's number. Carey Price needs to step it up next time in Toronto because Matthews is one guy. He's like Ovi and Stamkos. He just has Price's number. Even worse, all the games I've seen Montreal play against Toronto, especially the past 3 or 4, Matthews has been a huge reason why they won. Not the only reason, but a huge reason why they won, especially last game. They did overtime winner, first game of the year. So, yeah, Matthews is a great player. Toronto got themselves a great player, 11.6 million a year for 5 years, and if I was Toronto, when he gets to that 4th year, I would extend him again. I hope they don't win a cup in that time, but with a player like Auston Matthews and all the other players that got around him, the odds are pretty good. They're at least seeing a final within the next 4 years, especially if they can sign Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner's a giant part of that team too. He'll be offered a lot of free agency, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Marner. I'm predicting that they're going to sign him before July, and if they don't sign him before July, he's not staying in Toronto. So they're going to sign him before July because he's going to stay in Toronto. He's a Toronto guy. He was a London Knight. I have a feeling he's going to stay in Toronto. He's going to sign before July. But if he goes to free agency, the numbers that are probably going to be thrown at that kid, compared to what Toronto can offer him because of their cap, they can only offer him a certain amount. Even if they wanted to offer him like a crazy amount, they can only offer him a certain amount because they got to keep the other players around. They got to have some kind of defense. So the offers that Marner would get, I could see him being offered $12 million easy. He's really, really good player. So yeah, Toronto, you got yourself one hell of a player wrapped up for the next 5 years, and not including this year. So you might as well call it 6 years. Absolutely great deal. 11.6 mil. I know a lot of people say that's a lot of money. How can that be a great deal? But for a generational talent like Auston Matthews, who was being compared to McDavid there a couple months ago until he got injured. There's no argument about it. He's worth it, especially with the cap going up. This is probably going to be considered a bargain in 2 or 3 years, like Crosby's deal was. So the Leafs got themselves one hell of a deal. Congratulations, Leafs Nation. This is Mr. Average Hockey Fan, over and out. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Plenty of unbiased opinions. Plenty of any other NHL teams. It's mainly a Habs page, but I do release a lot of stuff about other NHL teams. Have a good day, folks. Over and out.